What is up, everyone? I am back with another video, this time another tier list. I saw the recent update with the albums and things like that, and one of the album categories is Venomized villains, and I wanted to look at all of the Venomized, Carnagerized, and Knullified variants in general, and just let's rate them. Let's see which ones are the best. And like last time, I'm not doing the typical S, A, B, C, D tiers, because I find that to be a little boring, especially in the context of something that's subjective. So my categories are take my money, top of the top, just no matter what, if I see it, if I have the opportunity, I'm gonna buy it. I want it. It's that good. It is very awesome to see. Number 2 is better than most. If it pops up or if I get it, I'm, mostly happy about, having it. It's not something I'm going to strive to get out of my way, but on occasion I might be able to pick it up, or, if I get it out of reserve, I'm very happy with what I got and that kind of thing. So, that nice little middle ground. Speaking of a middle ground, the next one is only if I have no other variants. So this is the tier of if you pull it or you get it, or your consideration of buying it is mostly going to be if it's a 700 gold one, first of all. Secondly, you're really only considering it if you have no other variants for these cards. Or I guess no other variants that you like, and you like the Venomized style more so than, let's say, you have a Dan Hip like Goose or something like that, right? For me in particular, one that I really am not super big on, to kind of spoil the video, I guess, is Killmonger, but I use it because I have a cool split on it, and it's literally the only Killmonger variant that I have. So the next one is, oh look, its tongue is out. It's just, yeah, it's Venomized, I guess. It's going blah, I mean, it's not doing too much different from what you really, the best of the best, the ones going to really set themselves apart from the majority of just its tongue's out, cool, it's Venom, blah. So that's where that is. And the last tier is I'm sad even if I got it for free. That's if I even pull it out of a reserve, it's gifted to me, I didn't have to pay anything, I see it, I look at it, and I am a little bit sad inside. Now, I think this is all of them, between the Venomized, Carnagerized, and Knullified. Speaking of which, there's only 2 Carnagerized ones in the entire game. That's the Green Goblin and the Spider-Woman. Those are the only ones here. One was a Conquest variant, the other one was a Season Pass variant, so you can't even get these at the moment. And one thing I'm also going to be keeping in mind for all of these as well is the cost associated with them. And that's going to kind of impact some of my my thinking. Now, not all of these are released, by the way. Some of them are still unreleased, but are upcoming, thanks to our data mines, or they just recently released. But yeah, we'll take a look at all of them, and we'll see how it goes. Starting with Angel, I'm going to put this one in, oh look, its tongue is out. I just think it's not very good. There are other Angel variants that are very, very cool. Also, Angel's just kind of a bad card, so it makes me sad that I don't have any use of variants that are cool. That's also going to impact my desire of getting a variant for Angel in general, not just this variant. Baron Mordo, I will put that in only if I have no other variants. I like it. It's fine. I have no issue with it. I don't think it's better than most. I think there are better Baron Mordo variants and stuff. I'm definitely not putting it to take my money, but it's not just, oh, look, its tongue's out. I mean, it's got some personality to it beyond just Angel being yeah, he's got the Venom face now. And yeah, so next one is Cloak. I kind of wanted to make a category in its own thing of just what is even going on, because I cannot distinguish some of these some of the times. Cloak is one of those where it's kind of awkward to read, so I'm gonna put it in this one though. I still think it's enough to say it's interesting, right? It's really close to being in this one of, oh look, its tongue is out, but because it's got some character to it and just this mess of his uniform or his costume, but otherwise it's not that great. Cosmo, better than most. I really like the Cosmo one. I think it's kind of cute in the sense that it still maintains a lot of its features. It's not all in on just like, oh, it's a Venom, whatever. It's got half the face. It's a nice, cool perspective. It's still in its spacesuit. You can see its paws. You can tell it's still Cosmo. I like it quite a bit. Not enough to just flat out say I'm going to buy it, but, you know, I do enjoy it. Dagger, I think it's another one of just, if I have no other variants, like, I like that she's still doing the action of throwing the dags. I like that she still has the action of throwing the daggers, and that gives her some character. And like, but again, it's mostly just her tongue's out. She's encouraged, like, it's again very close to this, but because I don't think there's a whole lot of dagger variants I'm super into, I would put it there. But I think in regards to dagger, I would probably prefer a couple other variants, like the 1600s one, for example. Deadpool, better than most. Some of you might think it's supposed to be in Take My Money. I'm going to say no. I think there's going to be a lot less of these, to be honest, but we'll get to those in a bit. And this one's still very good. I really like the Deadpool one. I like the perspective on it. I like how it's looking up. It generates like a size to him to make it a bit more menacing. And it's something that's kind of terrifying in concept, right? Deadpool with the symbiote, not something I want to deal with. Debris, I'm going to put, oh, look, its tongue's out. She's got the cargo shorts on, and she's got her fro. That's really it. Yeah, she's throwing some rocks around. I don't know. It's just, this one doesn't do it for me. It's very bland. It's very eh. I almost want to put in sad even if free, but I don't think it's that bad. It's just very boring. So, Gambit. I'm going to put this at the top of only if I have no other variants. I really like the guitar. I really like his get-up and stuff like that, but I don't like it more so than the majority of his other variants. Majority of his other variants I would rather have, so that's why I would put Gambit here. Goose is, oh look, its tongue's out. So the difference between Goose and Cosmo still keeps a lot of its features in which you're like, yeah, that's Cosmo, you can identify it, it has the spacesuit, we went over that, right? And the perspective is nice. The Goose is just not super cool to me. Like, yeah, it's the cat, and it has some, I guess, character with its tongue, and, similar to how it can have, like, the multiple tongues come out, like the tentacles and stuff. But it's just not enough. It's just a little bit too boring. Hella, better than most. I really like the Hella one. Almost in Take My Money. The reason it's not in Take My Money is because I actually had this happen yesterday, maybe the day before. She was in my shop. I always said to myself that if she came up in my shop, I would be like, snap by. Well, that day came, she came up in my shop, and I kind of looked at it and I was like, don't really feel the need to get her. I just don't feel it. So that's why for me she's not in Take My Money, because she had an opportunity to take my money and I just didn't give into it. Otherwise though, awesome variant. Hellcow. I'm gonna put it in only if I have no other variants. I like the bundle Hellcow that came out. I like the pixel Hellcow a lot. I like the winged variant as well. So this one I feel like would have been better if it was Carnagerized or Knullified instead of Venomized. Would have really popped with the red that Hellcow already kind of has. So for that reason, that's why I'm putting it here. It's just a missed opportunity for me. Kind of bland. Killmonger is the epitome of only if I have no other variants. I really want his pixel, but again, I have an awesome split. I got a gold split with purple crackle, and it looks very sick, so I'm happy to use that. But otherwise, I mean, it's just fine. It's just all black suit, and again, not a whole lot of distinguishing features for me to really like it. Craven, sad even if free. In fact, I did get this as one of my free variants, and the only reason I wasn't extremely sad is because it was the 6th one for my Venomized Villains album. So I was like, okay, well, that's something, I suppose. But for the most part, I really don't like this. They could have given it better characteristics to be like, this is Craven, but unfortunately it's just a lot of nothing going on, you know? It's just too much. Like the hair is weird, the perspective's weird, it just looks goofy. Not my thing. Lady Sif, take my money. In fact, they did, because I bought this. I did buy this bundle, and just to be consistent, we're going to throw the Thor up there as well. I love both of these. I love the perspective. I love the over-the-shoulder look. I love the energy coming off of her sword, as well as the lightning coming off of Mjolnir here. It's actually, is that Stormbreaker? I'm looking at the smaller version, so I can't really see it that well. But either way, I love these. These are awesome. They still have their capes. They still have their get-ups. You can still tell they are the characters they represent, while also having the Venomized look. Very, very well done. Lockjaws also take my money, because I did buy this one. This is one of the few Venomized ones I also bought. So I have to put it here. I don't regret it. I love this variant. It's my go-to Lockjaw variant. For a lot of you, it might be only if I have no other variants, but I like that. Similar to Cosmo, I like that you can still maintain distinguishing features, and the backdrop is nice, the contrast is nice. I'm a fan of it. And Baku, his tongue's out. Just, yeah. Hey there, this is Brad in post. Maybe I was a bit too harsh when it comes to M'Baku. I actually think it looks kind of nice. You can still tell it is M'Baku based on his uniform. The backdrop of the African wilderness is really awesome to see. So, you know, maybe it should be in only if I have no other variants, but still not the greatest, but maybe I was a little teeny bit too harsh. He's scary, but his tongue's out. Nova, I'm going to put this in better than most. A lot of you might think it's just going to be in, oh, look, its tongue's out, because it's kind of doing that. But this one still maintains a lot of its character. And on top of that, it has one of the best backdrops in a variant. Anything that has space as a backdrop, for me, is one of the best variants in the game. It's why I am not a fan of trying to split cards like this, like Nova, Star-Lord, these type of cards. I don't want to get them split because I don't want to dilute and take away from the beautiful backdrop that is the stars, the space, the planets, galaxies, all that good stuff, while also still maintaining a great characteristics of Nova. So big fan of this. Omega Red, this would be a snap buy for me. It's I haven't seen it pop up yet. I love this. I love the contrast. I love the coloring of it. It's very muted in a way, but there's such high contrast between Omega Red himself, as well as the backdrop behind them, as well as the landscape that he's standing on top of. It looks very, very good. Love this card. Love this art. Definitely want to pick this up as soon as I see it. Quicksilver, oh look, its tongue's out. It's got decent-ish backdrop. It's a little bit bland. I mean, I guess it could be only if I have no other variants, but there's just not enough going on here for me to really care, you know? Next is Red Skull. I'm gonna put that one in only if I have no other variants. It's it kind of feels a similar vibe to the Killmonger. I will say it's really cool that they have his trench coat with the symbiote on the back of it. I think that's super neat. It's just, I think the pose and the stylization, I guess, of like what he's trying to be doing is where it falls flat for me. This could have been a really cool card. Like, imagine if Red Skull, this variant, had a similar look to the Lady Sif or Thor, where it's the over-the-shoulder, like maybe he's in a Bond pose, like holding up the Walter P38 there, and you see clearly the Venomized portion of his trench coat, his face being Red Skull holding up the pistol in that kind of pose. It would be up there and take my money for me if it was that pose. But this pose is a little goofy, so it'll kind of fall short. Scorpion, sad even if free. In fact, I was sad because I got it for free. Not my thing. Kind of bland. Kind of, it's just, I don't know. It's a hard one to really make look very intriguing to me. So I don't know. I don't even think there's a way to redeem Scorpion here. Silk, take my money. Awesome, super amazing, well done art, phenomenal art. Lockshaw's probably the bottom of take my money, but Silk actually might even be at the top. Damn, this is such a good piece. Maintains all the characteristics you identify with the character, with the looming Venomized or the symbiote above her to showcase that it's there, but it's not maybe completely taking a hold, or it's more of like just the dauntingness of it. It's very well done. The perspective's awesome. Love it. Take my money, please. Typhoid Mary, I would say better than most. The angle's a bit better. I like the looking up portion. It's very close to be at the top of only if I have another variants. It's the one I'm currently using, but for the most part, because I don't have any other Typhoid Mary variants, and the ones that I've seen I'm not too big on, except for the fantasy one, but that's an ultimate variant, so don't want to really do that. Viper, I'm gonna say, oh look, its tongue's out. It's funnily enough, her tongue is not out here, but I don't know, it's not super my thing. I have the Medusa stylized Secret Wars Viper, which is amazing, and I will never replace that, so I don't know, it's not super crazy, but it's not bad enough to where I'm sad. I did get this one out of a poll, and I'm like, yeah, if I didn't have the Secret Wars one, I'd probably use it, but, you know. So I guess maybe in that sense, I could put it here. We'll go ahead and put it there. That's fine, I guess. White Queen, I'll put better than most. I think it looks really good. It's got like the anti-venom feel, and I think it's a very nice looking variant, but the reason I'm not going to put it in Take My Money is because it's that ultimate variant. 5,000 collector's tokens, way too much, way too steep. It's just, you know, can't really do it. I've had her pop in my shop so many times, and it's just not one that I really want to grab, especially for what the card is. I mean, it's not super playable, so. Black Widow, also better than most. I'm a pretty big fan of the Black Widow. There is a lot going on, so you kind of, in all the stuff around her, you kind of lose a little bit of what's happening in the card. But for the most part, it's distinguishable enough in which I could, you know, appreciate the art, I can appreciate the stylization, and it's definitely much more, there's more thought put into it as opposed to a lot of these other ones underneath her. Captain America, oh my god, take my money. Probably the one I'm most anticipating. Now we're entering the Knullified, by the way. Black Widow is the first Knullified one. Though again, because I had to add some of these in, we will get back to some Venomized ones in the bottom. But Captain America, this is an amazing cover, amazing like look for like a. If you haven't seen it, it's a cover for a comic book, a series for Captain America, and it's so well done. It's so scary. It's a really, really awesome looking card. I don't even care if Captain America is not very playable. I will absolutely get this when it finally comes to the shop. Daredevil is better than most. I see it a lot. There's some that I like better. It still maintains some cool characteristics of Daredevil. I do like the look of it. You still got the horns, though it's just not my absolute favorite, but I will acknowledge it's definitely better than these. Ghost Rider, I will also put that in better than most. I have the Kim Jacinto, so I'm not going to really say take my money. I don't like it as much as that. And I think it also has a similar problem as Black Widow here, where you kind of get lost of what's going on. There's not enough distinguishing features or to differentiate between the contrast of the backdrop and the foreground. So that's my biggest gripe with it. But again, it's certainly better than a lot of these other ones. Iron Man, right up there with Captain America. This is the sickest one, potentially. It's so... There's something about the heroes being nullified that makes them look so daunting and so menacing. I absolutely love these. These are two of my favorite ones in general. Maybe when the list is said and done, it's probably going to still be so. But yeah, really, really good. Spider-Man Miles Morales, I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle of better than most. That might be controversial. I think the reason it's not going to be in Take My Money is really the price of this card. It's part of the Hellfire Gala Newverse online store little event. If you're familiar with the last one we had, which was you spend like $200 and you get a bunch of things through the collection on this individual track for the online store. And the last one was a Kim Jacinto Enchantress. I do have that Enchantress, the Kim Jacinto, mostly because I think there was enough bundles in which that month where I was comfortable spending money during that time, and it just happened to work out in that way. This month I don't feel nearly as, I don't feel the same in that regard, as well as I don't really think I can justify trying to drop $200 to get this Miles Morales. He looks really cool, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of this art. I like it a lot. It's just $200, man. Is this card worth $200? Is this variant worth $200? I don't know. He's got a lot of really good variants, so I'm not too hard pressed. I'm not going to be sad if I miss out on this one. Shang-Chi. Take my money. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is actually probably up here. So good. Notice that the Knullified ones are consistently the best ones. They just look phenomenal. They are so well done. And honestly, man, it's going to be hard for me not to put the rest of the Knullified up into Take My Money. Man, but this Shang-Chi is so great. The perspective, the stance he's in, the fact you can still tell who it is. It's so good. You don't lose out on the character of the Knullified for most of these. Look at the Iron Man, look at the Captain America. You can tell they are who they are. Whereas you look at a lot of these Venomized one, they just don't have that same, vibe, I guess. All right, next, Spider-Woman. I'm going to put that in Better Than Most, very top. The reason it's not in Take My Money is because I had an opportunity to buy her, and I didn't. So for me, it can't be in Take My Money if I hadn't pulled the trigger on her. But Peach Milko, very good. Always great to see. But I got this Spider-Woman already, this Carnagerized one, and I like it more. Which I guess let's get this out of the way too. It's still in Better Than Most. They're right there next to each other. I guess I'll put this one behind that one. But because I have this one from the season pass during that month, it's what I still use, and it's still really awesome to see. Storm is in towards the bottom. Take My Money. I did buy her. I love this one. I love it so much. The only gripe I have is I wish the splits could be without the backdrop being changed, because the black and the red are so good when they get muted. I have a rainbow crackle of this one, but it's a little off-putting to use because you lose a lot of what makes this card so cool looking. If it was inked, it'd be also really cool, but then on top of that, if it's inked, you lose out on all this beautiful red lightning. So what I want is them to make this inked, but keep the red lightning effect. That'd be so awesome. But this is still a very good one. The Thing is also in Take My Money because, again, it did take my money. I did buy this one. It's so unique. It's very clearly The Thing, and it looks so cool. I can't get enough of this one. Omega Red's probably going to drop down a little bit around here, but this is a very good one. Huge fan of it. Love it. And now that, Luke Cage isn't as prevalent, this Enhyevo could be a lot more attractive, so maybe I'll use it more. Thor. Towards the bottom of Better Than Most, I almost want to put it here to have this be my hot take. I'm not super big on this one, but I can respect the criteria of the art. I think it's very clearly Thor. It's really cool looking. The Mjolnir, lighting up is awesome. But again, the downside is it is an ultimate variant. So 5,000 collector's tokens. Not super big on that. All right, so then we have Green Goblin. Probably the bottom of Take My Money because I did grind that first conquest pretty hard to get this. So I really wanted it. I still use it today. It's very cool looking, and I really like it. So Green Goblin. Momoko Black Cat, only if I have no other variants. One of my least favorite Momokos, to be honest. It's fine, but I think there are so many other Black Cats that I like a lot more that I'm just not super crazy about it. America Chavez, I'm going to also put it only if I have no other variants. I actually did buy this one, because I liked it at the time, but it's kind of like, I still use it, but it's not my absolute favorite variant of all time. It's just, I think I really wanted a decent Chavez variant, and that's why I got this one. So, armor. Also, I guess in this one, I'm really not a huge fan of a lot of the armor variants. Ghost Spider. Probably in the same middle ground, you know? Kazar, I'm not too big on it. Satif, I don't know, that's maybe harsh. I'm gonna put it in, oh, look, its tongue's out. Really boring, really whatever. Juggernaut's definitely Satif free. It's just super boring. I guess you can kind of tell it's Juggernaut, but it's not super crazy good. It's a little goofy looking, and it's doesn't have a whole lot of characteristics. And look, notice we're back in these bottom tiers because we're back in the Venomized tiers. Leech. Oh, look, his tongue's out. It's just weird looking. It's just a little too goofy for me. And it's not very easily readable as Leech. If I didn't have this here, it'd take me a little bit to be like, oh, that's Leech. Man-Thing. Better than most. Better than most. Very good. I'm not going to say take my money because I have the Spotlight variant where he's like a sorcerer looking thing. So that one's awesome. It's my favorite, but this is still very good. A little less readable than some of the other ones, so I guess I'll knock that down a little bit too. Also, this Typho Mary's probably towards the bottom, but still one that I like a decent amount. Loki, take my money. I love this one. I love the perspective. I love the staff with the tongue. I love the fact that you can obviously tell it is indeed Loki. One of the best ones, probably towards the top. Medusa, only if I have another variant, it's fine. Perfectly cool. Yeah, that's cool. Thanos, I'll put it in better than most. I think that might be a little bit controversial for some. They think it's a snap buy, but there are enough Thanos variants that I like more than this. So, not super crazy. In X-23, I absolutely did buy that one. It's the Xenomorph, essentially. It looks awesome. It's clearly her. It looks great. Perspective is nice. That top-down view of being underneath. The claws. It's just well done. But that's the list. Whoa. Not so fast there, Brad. We've actually missed a few of them. So let's go through them really, really fast. First one we missed is one that's not released yet, is going to be Gamora. I'm going to put that one in better than most. I really like that one quite a bit. And then the next one we missed is actually the new Kingpin one that I literally showed in the albums that I showed earlier in the video. I'll also put that one in better than most. It's got a suit on. It should be in only if I don't have another variant. Actually, yeah, we're going to put it in there. So never mind on that one. And then the other one that we missed is, of course, we missed Spider-Ham. I don't know how I missed Spider-Ham. That one is better than most. A lot of you will have take my money for that one because a lot of you were waiting for it. It was all over my Twitter feed when it first released. But for me, I like it, but I like the Rodion Gonzalez one just a little bit more. So there it is. Back to the video. What do you guys think? Does this match up? It's kind of interesting how the majority of stuff actually sits in the better than most and take my money. At least the majority of the Knullified variants, right? Both Carnagerized variants are actually up there as well. A decent spread for the take my money. And of course, the majority of the Venomized ones are less than desirable, I should say. Honestly, I could see a perfectly fine argument for a lot of these only if I have no other variants to drop into the other tiers. I don't think there's, in my opinion, there's not a whole lot. I guess maybe some people will say the Black Cat should be in better than most. I'm more than happy to concede that, but for me, I just like most of the other Black Cats more, like the Noir one, for example. I love the Noir one. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. How does this look? I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of this tier maker so you can make your own as well. And you can send it to me on Twitter at Bradsifer. And of course, while you're there, give me a follow. And check me out on Snap on Ego and Can't Stop Snapping, my two Marvel Snap podcasts. Links will be down in the description as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.